Hello and welcome to Last Week in AWS. Let's see what AWS has for us this time. Quinn models are now available in Amazon Bedrock, which I'm sure that the Anthropic folks love. Quinn models are also available in my laptop.
This episode is sponsored in part by my day job, the Duck Bill Group. Do you have a horrifying AWS bill? That can mean a lot of things. Predicting what it's going to be, determining what it should be, negotiating your next long-term contract with AWS, or just figuring out why it increasingly resembles a phone number, but nobody seems to quite know why that is. To learn more, visit duckbillgroup.com. Remember, you can't duck the duck bill. And my CEO informs me that is absolutely not our slogan.
AWS Budgets now supports custom time periods, which is terrifying because if you start doing things like tracking weekly AWS costs, then you're suddenly into a very sharp forest of edge cases because that crosses month boundaries and it's very hard to do apples to apples stuff. Don't do that. CloudWatch launches cross-account and cross-region log centralization, and where the hell was this a decade ago? How many Lambda functions get to be retired now? This pricing's even generous. Wow. S3 now supports conditional deletes in S3 general purpose buckets, and it's not as useful as I was hoping because I can't set the conditional as delete this if my data is nonsense. There's a new fault action in FIS to inject I/O latency on EBS volumes. So what's the most noteworthy part about introducing latency to disk volumes? Oh, that we charge the customer to do it. AWS has also once again announced a change, in this case, changing the email address from which invoices show up every month, only to walk it back prior to implementation.
This episode is sponsored by my own company, the Duck Bill Group. Having trouble with your AWS bill? Perhaps it's time to renegotiate a contract with them. Maybe you're just wondering how to predict what's going on in the wide world of AWS. Well, that's where the Duck Bill Group comes in to help. Remember, you can't duck the duck bill, which I am reliably informed by my business partner is absolutely not our motto.
Use Raspberry Pi 5 as Amazon EKS hybrid nodes for edge workloads. Now, this is more than a bit strange as I read the pricing, because I don't know how the hell many vCPUs a single Raspberry Pi 4-core CPU presents as. Each month alone costs as much as the Raspberry Pi itself. Malware protection for S3 expands file size and archive scanning limits. So wait, you used to be able to avoid malware scanning just by padding the file size, and technically you still can? That doesn't sound terrific. AWS is named as a leader in 2025 Gartner Magic Quadrant for cloud-native application platforms and container management. I wonder if they're talking about Lambda or Fargate or ECS or EKS or CodeBuild or AppRunner or Proton or... And finally, migrate from Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet to Claude 4 Sonnet on Amazon Bedrock. Now, the fact that this is anything other than update the model identifier string puts the lie to an awful lot of the value proposition that Bedrock came out of the gate with. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. Stick around.